Good morning once again, and welcome to Interfaith Spiritual Center Worldwide, where we know that nothing happens by chance, that everything is by divine appointment. So if you are tuning in at this moment, this message is for you. Our theme for the month is the sacred science of Hawaiian wisdom. And I had the opportunity, I received a birthday gift in August for my 75th birthday for a week, actually it was 10 days in Hawaii, and I had done an in-depth study of Huna, which is the secret science at work. Max Freedom Long wrote a book called The Secret Science, meaning the energy of Hawaiian wisdom. And there were 7 principles. Today we're going to look at IKE. The world is what you think it is. IKE. The world is what you think it is. Now think about this. The world is what we think it is. We put out those thoughts. You know, some people think it's the most loving world. It's just fabulous. In fact, I love what Sidney Poitier said. There is a friendly force at work. That was his belief in his book, This Life. I love that. There is a friendly force at work in the universe, and I am a part of it now. So we can have this energy go out, and we can have certain misfortunes or mishaps, but if we have our ground of being, it's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful world after all. The world is what you think it is. And then there are those who think, hey, this world is the pits. Oh my God, there's just so much going on here. Look at this, that, and the other, and bring up examples and get people's affirmation on it and sympathetic vibration. The world is what we think it is. And if we think it's a terrible world and there's, you know, all of this stuff going on that's so awful, and not to say that there aren't things that we don't need to heal in this world that go on. We are not ostriches, and our head's not in the sand with our you-know-what showing up. We acknowledge there is healing to do on the planet. But if our ground of being is with Jesus the Christ, what he said, it is done unto you as you believe. And he not only said it's done unto you as you believe, he said in your heart, our feeling center. So it's done unto us as we believe in our hearts. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So if our heart is in the right place, and we do notice that there are things that go on that need to be healed, and we put our light into that energy, IKE, the world is what you think it is, and have it show up in our lives. And I want you to know, and I'm with everyone, that we think, you know, there are certain things that have happened in our lives, and we're such good people, and, you know, these things showed up in our lives, and we're putting out this energy, and we're doing our affirmations, our spiritual treatments, our meditations, and I believe that we bring it all with us. We bring the ancestral line with us. So when the Course in Miracles states that miracles are not only progressive as we move forward, they are retroactive. As we heal ourselves, we are healing the ancestral line as well. I love that. I absolutely love that. So as we heal ourselves and our own perceptions, because the world is what we think it is. Dr. Holmes said thoughts are things. They are palpable. They show up. And words are molds, molding the very life that we are living. So when we put it out there in such a way, energetically, that it's basically a really good world. And there are things that we need to address, that we need to heal, that show up, that we shine our light on, because I believe these things show up to be healed. And I remember that someone in the 80s, we were talking about, I was doing memorial services every single week for AIDS patients. I had half my choir go, I had the choir director go, I had my flower guy go. I mean, it was pretty horrendous in the 80s. And as I meditated on it, and my very best friend, who was my assistant minister for 13 years, passed of the AIDS virus. And as I was meditating, I was weeping and, feeling it really at a deep level. And I thought, all of this has bubbled up so that people will learn to love unconditionally. That they look through this experience. Because when Mother Teresa went to New York to work at an AIDS hospice, the Time magazine said, "Mother, what do you think about that? Banners, get the hell out, this is, the plague, horrible stuff. What do you think of all this?" She said, "Each are my Christ in distressing disguise." Each are my Christ in distressing disguise. So when we feel the energy of things that are bubbling up to be healed, and now there are people that are I talked to a man, 35 years that he's been dealing with HIV, and he's on the planet, and he's feeling good, and his thoughts are at a higher vibratory frequency. In fact, I met him this week when I went to Louise Minikin's archives on the beginning of the lesbian movement, and had all these really ancient pictures, and spoke to this gentleman who was a journalist. And he had, for 35 years now, and keeping the high thought, and yes, blessing the medications, because as Ernest Holmes said, there's just as much power in the pill as there is in the prayer. And we bless our medications, knowing they are doing what they're supposed to do, and moving us to where we need to be. That's a good thing. And I'm a naturalist. But you know what? When I needed back surgery last summer, or actually the summer before last, thank you God, I was grateful for my orthopedic surgeon. And I gave him a great big hug and gave him some flowers, and he hugged me. And a friend of mine who had the same surgery said, "Well, he's never hugged me." And I said, "You didn't take him flowers." I did, right? So we can have gratitude for those that are there to support us in the healing process. Because every nurse, every attendant, everyone that is there, and I think that being a nurse is one of the most noble professions on the planet. They see us at our worst, and our moaning, and our groaning, and they're there for us. And I remember my one nurse, she was there with me for 14 hours. She was going to go off her shift. I was in that hospital bed, and I said, "Oh, please don't go, please don't go." And I just loved her. She was just so nurturing and wonderful. So those in the healing arts are there to support us in the healing process, and all part of this divine plan. And I believe there is a divine plan. IKE, the world is what you think it is, and allow our thoughts to be uplifted in such a way that all of the energy field is felt, that we can feel this heart energy, that we can make the longest journey on the planet, the 18-inch journey from the head to the heart. And in our Wednesday night live, we used to sing this song called "I Am One with God." And, I am one with God, I am one with life, I am one with peace, I am one with joy, I am one with you, you are one with me, we are one with God, God is all there is. That was our chant. And when we get it, I am one with you, you are one with me, we are one with God, God is all there is. God is all there is. The world is what we think it is. It is done unto us as we believe in our hearts. So I'm going to share with you a Korean fable, one of my favorites throughout the years. And it's about Yin. And she loved her husband very much. He was the most wonderful, tender, loving man. He was attentive, he was there for her, and he went off to the wars. And when he came back, he was a different man. He was irritable, he'd fly off the handle, she became afraid of him. And in that village, this Korean village, well, high in the mountains was a hermit, a healer. And he was a healer of physical ailments, ear infections and things that went on with people. He'd put his little potions together in his amulets and whatever it took, and he would give them to the people of the village, and he would heal them. And of course, it is done unto us as we believe, and they believed he was going to heal them, and so, of course, he did. And so she decided, And she always prided herself that she never needed to go to him, that she always healed herself of the physical. But this was mental and emotional. And she became so afraid of her husband that she went to the old hermit and she traveled up the mountain. And his back was to her and he felt an energy and he said, "What can I do for you?" She said, "It's Yin from the village. And I came to have you give me a potion or an amulet or something, some herb for my husband who came back from the wars, a different man. He was a glorious man, a tender man, and attentive. He was a beautiful man, and now I am afraid of him. He is so irritable and angry." And he said, "Well, this isn't what I really do. This isn't like an ear infection or something to do with the body." And she goes, "I know that." And he said, "Well, let me meditate on it. Come back in 3 days." So in 3 days, she came back, traveled up the mountain, and she said, "It's me, Yin, O hermit." And he said, "I have discovered a potion that will heal your husband." And she was just so grateful. And she said, "What is it?" And he said, "You will bring me the one ingredient I need the most, is that you will bring me the whisker of a live tiger." She said, "The whisker of a live tiger? That's impossible!" And he said, "That is what I need. You are dismissed." And so she went her way thinking, how can I do this? A whisker of a live tiger? Oh my goodness. So she meditated and she knew where a tiger was in the cave. She got together a bowl of rice and she put meat sauce on it and she went through the forest and she left it, not exactly in front of the cave, a ways away, and backed away, hoping the tiger would not catch her scent, and left. The next morning she went back. The food was gone, the rice was gone, the meat sauce was gone, so she exchanged bowls. Took her bowl, backed away, and the next morning, the same ritual. Took the empty bowl, put the bowl of the rice and the meat sauce, backed away. She did this day after day, week after week, month after month. And pretty soon, the tiger he would hear her and peer out the cave window, the window of the cave, the opening. And she would lay it down and then the tiger would run down and eat the treat. And she did this, and pretty soon one day the tiger was there at the empty bowl. She took the empty bowl, she sat the full one down, and the tiger began to purr and allowed her to pet the top of its head. And she noticed this beautiful kind of a red fur over the one eye. And what a beautiful creature this tiger was, this beast of the jungle. And the next day, she took the bowl of food, she laid it down, took the empty, and she said, whispered, "Oh tiger, I need your whisker to heal my husband." And she had a little knife. And as she pet the tiger, and the tiger purred like a little kitty cat, and pet the tiger, she whisked one of the whiskers off and said, "Oh, thank you, dear tiger. This will heal my husband." She went back. That was the last visit to the tiger. Went to the old hermit. She was elated. "I have a live whisker." She said, "I have this whisker from a live tiger." And that tiger, that was the stipulation. It had to be a live tiger. She handed it to the hermit. The hermit examined it and saw that surely this was the whisker of a live tiger. And then just threw it into the fire, and it went up in a little flame and did a little, the little noise that a hare will do. She said, "What are you doing? This was for your potion." He said, "Oh, dear Yin, every day for 6 months, you were kind and patient to the tiger. You left food. You took the empty bowl every day for 6 months. Think of it. Is your husband less fierce than a tiger? Is your husband less fierce than a tiger? Show him the same kindness, and he will respond as the tiger did. She left the company of the hermit, knowing exactly what she was going to do. Because we know that love is the strongest healing power in the universe. That the world is what we think it is, and if we think it's a loving world, and it's done unto us as we believe in our heart, then those treasures will appear. Because we know it, we believe it. And when we know something and someone says, oh, you don't know, not even the gates of hell shall prevail against us, because we know that we know that we know. So whatever they have to say, it matters not, because we know that we know that we know. We don't even need to react, because we know that we know that we know. So on this day, when we look at this ancient, sacred Hawaiian wisdom, and just a little word, IKE, the world is what you think it is. And the more love and the positive energy we put out into this universal collective, it will respond in an amazing, amazing way. So on this day, where we acknowledge that there is a power in the universe greater than we are, we're using it every single day of our lives, whether we are consciously aware of it or not. Wow. This is why I love our way of life. All paths that lead to God are good. That yes, right now, somewhere in the world, a Jew is saying his prayers, a Hindu is chanting a mantra, and a Buddhist is kneeling at her sacred shrine. Right now, at this very moment, someone is lighting a candle in a cathedral. Someone is lighting a fire in a jungle. Beauty above me, beauty below me, beauty before me, beauty behind me, beauty within me. It is the beauty path, and the world is what I think it is. And if we can just pluck the whisker of the tiger out of our great need to fulfill our own destiny, and we give that same care to ourselves, wow, the world is not only what I think it is made manifest in that energy field of love. So this morning, I know that we are all going somewhere, and do you know where that is? Higher yet. Where is it? Higher yet. Where is it? Higher yet. Because we are in a high place, and we will not come down. None of these outer things move us. We are in a high place, and we will not come down. So I say to you, Namaste. The God in me celebrates the God in you, and the God in you celebrates the God in me. And if I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, there is only one of us. And I say, Shalom, the peace passes all understanding in this sacred chapel. And God bless us, everyone. We are in a high place, and we are going higher yet. And so it is. Thank you.